What if Ahsoka Tano had visions of Anakin becoming Darth Vader? Hello everyone, we are so close to the Ahsoka show, and I am so excited. It's gonna be great, I'm gonna have fun with it. I hope you're excited as well, but today, here's a fanfiction about her and Anakin. So, let's get right into it. What if Ahsoka had visions of Darth Vader? Ahsoka Tano sat outside the palace on Mandalore, deep in meditation. Maul had just evaded them, and she was waiting for him to be found. She meditated, giving herself to the Force, thinking of Anakin, of Obi-Wan, the Jedi, her being expelled from the Order, and now right back in the fight on Mandalore. She was deep in meditation. And across the galaxy, Anakin Skywalker slept. It was his first night back with Padme, and he couldn't have been happier going to sleep. But as he slept, dreams started to creep up on him. Nightmares. Dreams of pain. Padme screaming. She was in pain. And on Mandalore, still meditating, Ahsoka began to see visions. She now saw dreams of pain. Anakin yelling. He was in the darkness. Anakin saw Padme in childbirth, dying. Ahsoka saw Padme choking, held in the air by Anakin, dying. Anakin saw Obi-Wan telling Padme to stay with them, and Ahsoka saw Obi-Wan yell, "You are the chosen one," and swing at Anakin. Then Anakin saw Padme die in childbirth, and Ahsoka saw Anakin fade into the shadows, followed by a dark figure emerging. She saw this figure swing down at a Jedi with white lightsabers. It was her. Anakin jolted awake, sweating, fearing for Padme, a connection to somewhere across the galaxy with these visions. And Ahsoka jolted out of meditation, sweating, fearing for Anakin, and feeling Anakin somewhere across the galaxy. It was like they were intertwined somehow right now, like these visions were not only sent to her. She sat on the balcony, wondering what it was she just saw, wondering why this vision came to her. And on Coruscant, Darth Sidious ended his Sith alchemy ritual. He could feel the pain in Anakin. He could feel that sending these visions had worked. But something was off. Like there was an added tendril to this ritual. For now, he ignored it. Anakin Skywalker would be his. Very soon. On Mandalore, Ahsoka ran to Rex and explained that she must go. She couldn't fully explain it, but the Force had given her a sign. Something was off. Something important. Rex said that this battle would be tough without her, but he would explain to Bo-Katan and the others that she had to go. Ahsoka gave him a hug, not knowing if she would see him again, then took off for Coruscant. She had to find Anakin. The following morning, Anakin sat outside a meditation room. He had asked Grand Master Yoda to meet with him. He needed to talk about his nightmares. And as the door opened and Anakin was about to walk in, he heard a voice behind him call his name. Anakin turned around and was shocked to see Ahsoka standing there in the temple. Something was wrong. She asked if he was okay, and she could see in his eyes that something was not all okay. It was like he hadn't slept in days. Yoda walked to the entrance and waited for both of them to come in. He could feel the conflict. And eventually, they did go in, where Yoda first asked Anakin what was going on. Anakin explained that he was having dreams or visions, nightmares of death. This got Ahsoka's attention. Was Anakin having the same visions as her? But then Anakin went on, explaining that his dreams were of someone close to him dying, that he would not let these dreams come true. And Ahsoka wanted to jump up from her seat. She began to understand. The visions were connected. Anakin was having dreams of loss, of pain, and Ahsoka was having dreams of Anakin turning to the dark side. She jumped in now, explaining to Yoda and Anakin that her visions were of him, that she saw Anakin turn to the dark side. She saw lava, Obi-Wan yelling at him, darkness surrounding Anakin, a dark figure emerging from Anakin. And they all waited a moment, Yoda, eyes closed, as if he were asking the Force for guidance. Anakin was shocked by what Ahsoka revealed. He could never turn to the dark side. Could he? Would he, if it meant saving Padme? Deep down, he was afraid of the answer. And as Yoda felt into the Force, he could feel the conflict in Skywalker. As he felt the Force, he hoped Qui-Gon was here. Yoda tried to contact him, and he heard a distant echo of the former Jedi Master saying, "He is the Chosen One." The Grand Master opened his eyes, and he asked Anakin who, specifically, his dreams were about. Something was off here. Who could make him turn to the dark side? Like Ahsoka, Yoda was making the connections that these fears of loss were taking him down a dark path. Could it be Obi-Wan? Ahsoka? No, Yoda thought. There was someone else. And Yoda's suspicions were confirmed when Anakin said he could not reveal it, and he got up to leave the room. Anakin wanted to, but he couldn't. He was in danger of being expelled from the Order, from ruining Padme's life in politics. He couldn't. He wanted to help, but he just couldn't get it right here. Not right now. Ahsoka told him to wait, but Yoda let him go. Then, the Grand Master turned to Ahsoka, telling her that this is a grave day for the Jedi and for the Force. He asked Ahsoka to stay on Coruscant, to be with Anakin. The war would be over soon, and a crucial moment would come for Anakin. Ahsoka agreed, and then ran after Anakin. She found him in the temple hangar, boarding a speeder. He was off to meet the Chancellor, and before he could take off, Ahsoka got to him and asked, "Is it Padme?" Anakin did not make eye contact with her. He looked down, and when he looked back up, Ahsoka could see tears in his eyes. Then, Anakin took off without a word. Ahsoka sat in her temporary quarters inside the temple that Yoda had recently assigned to her while she stayed to try and help Anakin. She contacted Rex, and he said they would be able to retake Mandalore for Bo-Katan and her people, but Maul had escaped and abandoned his troops. Maul was out in the galaxy, somewhere. Ahsoka thanked him, then considered her next move. It had been a while since she asked Anakin if the dreams were about Padme, and now she decided she may as well go and see Padme. Upon arrival, the two of them hugged. Padme missed Ahsoka greatly. The two had become good friends, and they were both sad the war had separated them. But today was, of course, largely about the war. Ahsoka said that she was worried about Anakin, and Padme stopped her, saying Obi-Wan was just in here moments before to say the same things. Padme simply asked if she knew, and Ahsoka nodded her head. Moments ago, Obi-Wan had confirmed that he knew as well. So both Obi-Wan and Ahsoka had some idea that her and Anakin were together. Then Ahsoka said that she was worried, because she had a vision of Anakin turning to the dark side, and she said it seemed to be connected to Anakin's dreams where Padme died. And Padme told Ahsoka what Anakin had told her, that he would not let these dreams come true. And Ahsoka asked where he was now. Padme said he was in a council meeting to discuss who will go after General Grievous, and they both knew it would not be Anakin. Despite being in an extremely vulnerable position emotionally, the council had asked him to spy on Palpatine, his greatest mentor. He wouldn't be leaving Coruscant for a long while. The Jedi Council knew this might not be the best idea, but they had to separate Anakin from the Chancellor. Something was off. Windu didn't like it, so they'd assigned him to spy on him and hopefully learn the truth about his nefarious acts. Ahsoka thanked Padme for the talk, and she said she would do whatever she could to help Anakin. Then, she took off for the Jedi Temple. Sometime later, Ahsoka walked with Masters Windu, Saesee Tiin, Aegon Kolar, and Kit Fisto. Obi-Wan had just engaged General Grievous, and the Masters were preparing to go ask the Chancellor to give up his emergency powers. Ahsoka wondered what Anakin would think of this, and Windu seemed to read her thoughts. He actually thanked Ahsoka for coming back to help, that the Jedi just didn't understand what Anakin was going through, and soon he would return from telling Palpatine that Grievous was under attack. And as Ahsoka walked with the Masters, they saw a speeder land, and Anakin stumbled out. He looked injured, and Ahsoka ran up to him, the Masters right behind her. Anakin looked up. He was completely shaken by something, and then the revelation came. He told Ahsoka and the Masters Chancellor Palpatine is the Sith Lord that they have been looking for. Windu looked to Fisto, Tiin, and Kolar. It was time to go. Time to end this, once and for all. Anakin got up to go with them, and Windu instructed Anakin to stay in the council chambers with Ahsoka. Anakin barely had the energy to argue right now. This revelation was tearing his world down, and things began to make sense. the nightmares about Padme dying, Ahsoka's vision about him turning to the dark side. He asked himself earlier if he would turn to the dark side to save Padme if that's what it took. And the answer was far too clear right now. He was scared of himself. Ahsoka guided Anakin to the chambers where they would sit together, and for the first time, Ahsoka almost feared Anakin. He was looking out the window, and it was clear that he was going to go to the Chancellor's office one way or another. Ahsoka sighed, knowing that there just was no way to stop it. She told Anakin that they would go together, but to listen to her first. She said that Palpatine was using him, using his nightmares, his turmoil about Padme, to turn him to the dark side. She said that Padme loved Anakin as he is right now, and Anakin was still taken aback that Ahsoka knew all of this, but there was nothing to it now. He had to listen. And Ahsoka said that if he turned to the dark side, he would lose Padme, and he would lose himself. He would lose everything. Ahsoka continued on, saying that they will go to help Windu, but saying Anakin will have to do what needs to be done. End this war right here, right now. Destroy the Sith, and then leave the Jedi Order. Anakin inclined his head now to listen more. Ahsoka said that after all this, after he finally fulfills this prophecy, to leave the Order behind and to take Padme with him. He is the chosen one. Ahsoka said that if anyone has the power to save her, it's Anakin. But if he takes the dark path, the easy path, he loses it all. Anakin nodded. She was right. They had to go, now. In the Chancellor's office, Darth Sidious sprawled to the ground and crawled to the corner of the window. He could feel Anakin approaching, but he was with someone. This was the most crucial moment of the war, perhaps of Sidious's life. Mace Windu put his purple lightsaber to Sidious's throat, and now the Dark Lord looked to the door to finally see Anakin enter, and behind him, his Padawan. After all that, Sidious realized the visions must have gone to her as well. He snarled, but still began telling Anakin that he was right. The Jedi are trying to take over, and there was less conflict in him than Sidious needed. This was bad. His Padawan was ruining things. Windu raised his lightsaber for the kill, and Sidious was extremely angry, using his full power, blasted lightning at Windu. There was an extra extreme anger in this blast. It surprised Sidious himself. The lightsaber flew from Windu's hands, and lightning engulfed him. He slammed against the wall, and Sidious continued to pour the lightning on him. He turned to Anakin now, and he had to yell over the sound of Windu screaming and the sound of the lightning. He told Anakin to join him. The Jedi were evil, and only he could save Padme. Anakin looked to Windu, writhing on the floor, then to Sidious shooting the lightning. Then he turned to Ahsoka. She was looking back at him. She was giving him permission to do what he wanted to do what he thought was right. For once, the decision was up to Anakin. And Anakin remembered what Ahsoka said, that the dark path would cause him to lose Padme and himself. But what if he couldn't save her without Palpatine? No, he could do it. He would do it. He was the chosen one. Sidious looked to Anakin and said, "Kill him," about Windu. Anakin gripped his lightsaber, ignited it, and cut directly through the middle of Darth Sidious. A small gasp escaped from his mouth, and he looked to Anakin in disbelief. Then both halves of his body fell forever into the night, through the window to the Coruscant city below. Anakin fell to his knees, saying, "What have I done?" And Ahsoka knelt next to him, saying that he fulfilled his destiny, that he saved himself, and in turn, saved Padme. And a weak Mace Windu said she was right, that he was the chosen one after all. Around a day later, Anakin stood in the center of the council chambers. Since he cut down Darth Sidious, the Jedi had brought proof to the Republic of him being a Sith Lord, working with the Separatists. And now the war was coming to an end. The droid armies were overrun. The Republic had victory, and Bail Organa was elected as the interim Chancellor. The Jedi were safe. And now Mace Windu spoke to Anakin, saying that he would be promoted to Jedi Master. It was all Anakin had wanted just days before, and he thanked the council. But now, today, he declined. He told the council that he was leaving the Jedi Order. He looked to Obi-Wan as he said this, and Obi-Wan shifted from a smile to a surprised frown, then back to a smile. He knew that this was the best thing for his old Padawan, his brother. The rest of the council sat in silence, kind of in shock, until Yoda said that the council understands. Anakin bowed to them, and he took off. His walk out of the council chambers quickly turned into a full-on run as he went to find Padme. A month later, Anakin and Padme sat by the lake on Naboo while Luke and Leia slept. Padme had a safe berth, with Anakin by her side for every moment of it, and now they were all safe together. Anakin away from the Jedi, Padme away from politics, raising their children together, and Ahsoka was gifted a nearby house on Naboo from former Queen Padme Amidala. Ahsoka meditated, thanking the Force for warning her about Anakin, and she got up, looking out her window, smiling as she saw Anakin Skywalker, happier than ever. And that's where our story ends today. One of the quicker ones on this channel, actually. That was not intended, but hey, that's where we're at. Cool, I've actually enjoyed that one a lot. I hope you did as well. Let me know what you thought. Let me know. You excited for Ahsoka? I know I am. I think it's going to be wonderful. Star Wars is back, hopefully. Anyways, thanks for watching. Again, let me know what you thought. Please do leave a like, subscribe, all the YouTube stuff, you get it. And I'll see you in the next video.